Four Seasons is now a bustling hotel featuring restaurants, residences, and rooms, but there's something else that's welcoming people from all over to the top. Rob Krieger takes us to a roof with a view.
Located at the foot of Canal Street, once an icon of the city skyline, this skyscraper sat dormant for years. But now, thanks to developers from the Four Seasons Hotel, there's new life springing from the edge of the Mississippi River. You may not realize it yet, but the story of New Orleans is embedded in this building. Beyond the restaurants and hotel rooms, this place comes with a view that dives deep into the roots of the Crescent City.
You know, this has been a 4-year labor of love coming up with this, and it actually grew out of a small idea of how do we tell people why our culture is what it is today, why New Orleans is unique among all cities in the United States.
Paul Flower, the co-developer of the Four Seasons, knew he wanted to do something special with the iconic 33rd floor. Once a rotating bar, this spot now is a compendium of New Orleans hotspots, but the real story starts near sea level, where visitors enter the View Orleans.
This is a place that pays tribute to the people, the costumes, the food, the music, the river, and everything that makes up the beautiful city of New Orleans.
David Rand, the general manager of View Orleans, is passionate about the story it tells and how it immerses guests into the culture of New Orleans using touchless interaction and augmented reality.
And it brings up in 3 different languages, English, Spanish, and French, what you're looking at. It's an incredible way to interactively just bring them up. Some of them play music, some of them don't, some of them, like this one for example, talking about second line parades.
At times, the displays break into music with classic jazz riffs or masking Indians on the screen, delighting guests exploring the state-of-the-art exhibit, complete with accurate stories from New Orleans history.
Well, we had people like Larry Powell, author of The Accidental City, or Henry Louis Gates, guiding us through this entire process, so we would be historically accurate.
Where by using touchless technology, you're able to bring up a menu of characters and then bring up the character itself.
I am George Leidenheimer. By the time I arrived in New Orleans...
One of the main stories of New Orleans, we all know, the food, unfolds in full color at the Story Cafe, where guests get the lowdown on virtual dishes as they belly up to the bar.
We tell the story of the most famous types of food that New Orleans offers, the history of it, and our goal is to try to drive you to places. If you've never had a po' boy, if you're a first-time visitor and you never had a po' boy, how do we get you over to a place to have one and try one and just be a good partner to the community?
The story of New Orleans would not be complete, though, without the tunes that make the streets sing. Walk under the gramophone, and you're saturated in sound.
We have everything here from Louis Armstrong all the way up to Big Frida, where you're just going to point at a selection, understand about what traditional jazz is, how New Orleans played a role, and then you can listen to a few snippets from Jelly Roll Morton, from Louis Armstrong, everything in between. And then the great thing, like I mentioned, is we don't want to leave anything out, so we go all the way up to rap and modern bounce with Big Frida and a couple of other favorites in the city.
The real gem, though, that top of the city view. An elevator ride up to the 33rd floor gives you a brush through centuries of the river's lore, and right at the top, a glimpse at New Orleans in the round. Inside the interior observation deck, augmented reality stations provide a detailed dive into the favorite sights of the city.
You can literally point the station at the landscape out there and at a historic building, for instance, and that building comes up on the screen and the station tells you all about that building.
In a few hours, learn the lay of the land and everything that the city has to offer, and then how we can be a concierge and guide you to those places.
And if that's not enough, climb up to the newly constructed 34th floor to put your head in the clouds.
You know, one day if it's really clear, you can almost see the Gulf.
It's a view of New Orleans that not many have seen in years, and now that journey to the crest of a city known for living below sea level starts right on the banks of the mighty Mississippi. Rob Krieger, Fox 8, Local First.
Wow, that view looked amazing. The View Orleans is open daily from 9 to 5 near the aquarium inside the Four Seasons Hotel. We're back right after this break.